When I started, we were out to Wolf Street. I don't know if you ever remember that. The building's still there. Okay. It's right off of 690 going towards the State Fair.
Yeah.
They remodeled it. And then we went to New Process Gear on Fly Road. 37 years I was there, back in the 60s. So I've been out about 14 years now. It seems like when they first start you there, they put you in cast iron because that's the dirtiest job. It's the heaviest. It's the cases. They weigh 54 pounds, and I probably did 520 of them a night. You lift them off the thing, on the machine, off the machine, and then back onto the wash line. So you actually handled every one of them 4 times. So, and it was a dirty job, you know. But, lunchtime? No, I was in cast iron. I was an inspector. I've been a forklift operator. The last years I was in the assembly line because it paid the most, and they take your last year's average for your pension. So the last year, we were in the best department. We were making the most money. So they come down and decided to cut us by $10 an hour, which to you it seems like a lot, but to us it didn't. You know, it from 34 to 24. You know what I mean? And everybody else was making 30 and stuff. But we were the best department. So it lasted about 3 months. So we all, the 12 of us, we all ended up bailing out because we're hurting our pension. You know what I mean? So we were making $24, so we'd end up retiring.
So
oh yeah, yeah. I've worked probably, to me myself, I probably worked over 3 months without a day off. I mean, the money's there. If you want to work overtime like Christmas, everybody wanted to work Christmas the week you get off because it's triple time. So if you figure you're getting $30 an hour, you're getting $90 an hour. You know what I mean? I mean, you can make on a weekend, you know, you work 40 hours and then work Saturday and Sunday, you can make over, take home, you can take over $1,000. Easy.
Wow.
But you get these kids, like when I first left, you get the boss's sons and stuff like that, their daughters, and they're in college, so they get a job during the summer, which is nice. But a lot of them stayed. I said, no, get your education. You know what I mean? But they stay because they like the money. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You got to get your education stuff. At the high point, it was over 4,000. It was only like maybe 3 or 4 months. For some reason, we had to have. And when I used to go to work on second shift, I ended up parking in the street because there were so many people there. I mean, the parking lot was full. It was. And then it just kind of like petered out. We usually have a little over 3,000 people. When I left, there were probably, it was getting down there, it was probably about 1,500 people. And I probably was 7th or 8th on the seniority list. You know. Probably poor management. It wasn't us, I'll tell you that. They just couldn't get new stuff in, you know what I mean? Like the Harley thing went out of, you know, they didn't get that. There's other stuff, you know. A lot of people went to Detroit because they can keep their seniority. You know what I mean? If there was a guy there that had 10 years at Detroit and you had 12, you come in, you can get a better job than him. You know what I mean? It's like when I wanted to, like I was always on second because I could go hunt. I could get up in the morning, go hunting. I didn't like days. So eventually I had enough time there, I got on days. But the only thing bad about that, you know, you've been there over 30 years, you got the best job. I mean, you got the best job on that department, on that shift. But if you go on days, you're screwed because you got to have the lowest job. You have to bump the lowest person. You can't bump jobs. So, of course, the lowest person there got the stupidest job, and you just have to work your way up. Once you get on days, you got, you know, you're not making money. You got the worst job, but when there's an opening, you got it made because you got the most seniority. You got it, you know. Somebody, you have to wait till somebody retires or move or something like that, you know. Well, I've seen a couple dead people there. I mean, they just had a heart attack, you know, and I go back there and wake them up. Yeah, poor guy, dead, you know. But I've seen a machine where you put the part on, you got to put your hand in, you put the part on, and then it rotates. okay? The piece rotates. It's like, first it drills it, then it'll tap it, then it'll cut it. Well, one time the guy put his hand in there to put the piece in, and the machine came in and put a hole through his hand. Well, they thought he would, you know how you'll soup the machine up, or you'll wire the door, because once you open the door, the machine shuts off. So what you do is you wire the switch. So when you open the door, it's still moving, but you save a couple seconds. And that adds up. You know, when you're at the end of the night, you know, a lot of people make 50 pieces. Well, if you wire the door, you might make 125. You got to make money, you know. But yeah, this guy had his hand in there, and it drilled a hole right through his hand. And OSHA come in, and they thought it was him, you know. And they waited 6, 7 hours, 8 hours. Oh, and the machine wouldn't do it. All of a sudden, they got fed up, and they were going to walk away, and it did it. So they didn't blame him. This machine where you put two cases on, and it goes down to the corner, goes over here, comes over, and comes back like this. It's a square, but it cuts the face, drills the holes, and you got to check them, you know, check side. Well, when it hits this corner, sometimes it'll stay there like maybe 6, 7 seconds, and then it'll advance. Well, I got it where as soon as it hit the corner, it comes around, it goes just like that. As soon as it hits the corner, it goes. I mean, that's, and then after the end of the shift, you turn it back, you know. I had a brochure thing. We went to, they used to have open house, and they gave me this book. It was over, the New Process Gear was over 100 years old. And they used to have these belts, like these gears that go across the ceiling. And what it did is every once in a while you see a belt come down, and it would run a machine. The machines, you know, this one thing on the ceiling ran everything. You know, I mean, just ran that machine, and then they had a couple machines still there, but they converted them over to electricity. You could see where the belt was, you know, the big gear and stuff like that. They still used them. I mean, the thing, I think it said 18 something on it with a date or something, but you know, it still worked. All it did was just drill one hole in the case. That's all they did it. So they still used it.
I thought I was going to get laid off. They were doing a lot of layoffs then, and I figured I would be going, so I went to Chrysler. Then I found out afterwards that I wouldn't have got laid off, but I was much better off at Chrysler. It was a better paying place. It was $4.29, but then they were piecework jobs, so you can make more. I wound up with my night pay making $6.10. This was in '71, and that was whereas
pretty good
at
pay.
GE I made $3.39. You know, so it was a big jump. I was making $31 an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna let the
The
boys hit.
whole plant is piecework, pretty much. Well, they gotta pay you so much. And then if you push out more product, you can make more money. I like that, you know, it's an incentive. You push yourself, they don't push you, you push yourself because you got that carrot in front of your nose. Machine operator, and I was on setup for a certain amount of time. Setup, they have a couple of setup men in each department, and there's a problem with the machine. It's up to you to figure out what it is and do whatever it is that you need to do to keep things going. And then they, if you have got a machine that makes a part and they want a different part made, you know, similar part, but maybe different size, different angle, and gears. These were gear cutting machines. And you had to change gears and make adjustments and get approval, and once you get approval, they can put that machine on production. It was a good place to work. You know, you worked, but you're pushing yourself because you're going to make a little extra money. And it was just, I like that system. Nobody's pushing you. If you want to do it, if you want to make it, you do it yourself. So it wasn't difficult for me because I'd worked other places where I got paid a lot less, and it wasn't difficult for me. I liked it there. I liked going to work even on Monday. Their biggest thing was transfer cases.
And can you
And
explain what that is?
And they made them for, they were owned by Chrysler, but they made them for Ford, GM, Chrysler, BMW, and Humvee. There's a lot of overtime. I didn't need it, so I tried to get out of it. You know, I tried to get somebody, find somebody to run my job, well, you know. Not usually, because usually there was a push for product. And, no, usually we had they didn't shut the plant down. Once in a while they did, but mostly not. I don't know, because I retired before it shut down. I retired in 2002. And then Magna Drivetrain bought it in 2004. They closed the door in 2012. So I wasn't there, so
Okay.
I was lucky. I got out just in time, and while Chrysler still owned it. I get 5% below what the dealer has to pay for it. And then the company reimburses the dealer for dealing with me.